Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to another exciting and intense episode of Debating with the Debater with Seema on MTV Sports. And the topic that will be battled out here today is a pertinent one, a topic that has been able to top the development agendas of many countries around the world. And the topic that will be discussed here today is whether or not the number of permanent seats of the United Nations Security Council should be increased. And proposing the motion, we have with us today DSN Anayaka College, Colombo, and the opposition for today will be Rotary International School, Nugekota. It's with greatest pleasure that I introduce to you a competent panel of judges for tonight who will decide the result of the debate today. We have with us a well-known figure in the arenas of retail, manufacturing and media. He's also a group director at the Capital Maharaj organization. Welcoming to the studios, Mr. Srilal Ahangama. We also have with us Mrs. Takshala Damearachi. She's a competent Toastmaster and also a lecturer in law at a reputed private organization. We also have with us Mr. Tyrrell Ferdinand. He is the Managing Trustee of the Initiative for Political and Conflict Transformation. We're ready to move into the opening statements where both the proposition and the opposition will be given a chance to lay a foundation upon which their future arguments will be based upon. Let me now invite our first speaker representing DSN Anayaka College, Haritha Jayasekara.
The UN Security Council reform is too long overdue and the necessary expansion must be made, considering how much the world has changed. Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General of the United Nations. Now, we believe that in order to fulfill the role of the Security Council of maintaining peace and stability, that the permanent seats of the Security Council must be increased. We believe this based on two primary grounds. Ground number one, greater democratic representation within the Security Council, and reason number two, contribution to the Security Council by countries. Now, moving on to explaining our reason number one, greater representation within the Security Council. Now, we believe that the world has changed dramatically since the 1940s when the United Nations was first founded. There used to be 51 nations of the UN, but now we see that there is a staggering 193. Where is the greater representation for those nations? We see entire continents such as South America, such as Africa, which are not being represented and whose voices are not being heard. We see huge issues arising in the Middle East, but we do not see their opinions being reflected regarding cases such as the Arab Spring, and we see that this is one of the reasons why the UN is not so successful and at solving these issues. Now, we know that the Security Council can make or break nations. It can start or end wars. And we believe that with that great power comes a great responsibility, and that responsibility must be mitigated by this responsibility being given to a diverse range of nations. Now, our second argument was the contribution to the Security Council by nations. Now, again, in 1945, the P5 were the most powerful nations, but not anymore. We see that countries such as Japan, countries such as Germany, the G4 countries have emerged in the world. We see huge changes in the politics and the economics of the world, and we see that, for instance, Japan is the second largest contributor to the SEC Council budget right now. So we see that with this, and we also see that they contribute towards the manpower of the SEC Council, the peace troops as well. So with these changes, we believe that the Security Council must reform as well, that these nations deserve their representation as well. For after all, these countries, why are they doing this? Why are they?
And to represent the stance of the opposition, let me now invite Shalini Rana Singhal.
Honorable panel of judges and my dear brothers of the proposition team, the topic that we have got is the permanent seats in the UNSC should not be increased. I heard my brother saying that Japan and Germany should be included in this UNSC, but according to my view and the view of my team members, Japan and Germany should not be included in this UNSC, because we know Japan is a country which was destroyed very heavily in the World War II, and it attacked the Pearl Harbor. And we know Germany, a country being under Hitler, has always thought that their country was the best country. So because of that, this country should not be included, because they will always try to take their power to their hand, this veto power which is so powerful, where they can use their power and do whatever they want. And coming back to this UNSC, number of seats of UNSC should not be increased because there should be so much of problems within the countries. These 5 countries, China, UK, Russia, France and USA is enough, because if more countries are included in this UNSC, there will be more conflicts and more problems within the countries, because we know there's the saying, too many cooks spoil the cook. So it's better if we keep these 5 members and continue with doing these humanitarian activities. And we know that UNSC is a council that keeps peace, that maintain peace. But still we don't see any peace happening in, we can't see anything happening in the world. They don't support any countries, and they always do the bad side of everything. This peacekeeping is not done by UNSC. We know America, being such a super powerful country, has done so much of things against our country. They never helped us when we were under so much of attacks, when we were being attacked by the LTTE.
And our final speaker for round 1 from the proposition, inviting to the podium Moveen Pereira.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today our topic at hand is the number of permanent seats in United Nations Security Council should be increased. I will be explaining on the contribution towards the UN. First of all, in 1945, only the 5 permanent countries were able to carry out the role of the Security Council. But now there are many countries contributing towards this too. Look at this chart, ladies and gentlemen. Japan is contributing 10.8% and Germany is contributing 7.14%. Why are they contributing this much to the United Nations? To get the responsibility to their hand. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the General Assembly 67th session, agenda item 129, real growth of regular budget, established activities compared with the appropriation for 2012 and 2013 reflects an estimated decrease of 62.1 million or 1.5%. What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? The required amount has decreased along the years 2012 to 2013, and it also states that preliminary estimates in respect of special political missions reflects an increase of 30.2 million or 2.5. What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? The amount required to support the UN has increased, and when the amount that they gather is decreased, they cannot support they cannot support their role. And the rebuttals of the first speaker, she stated that it was during the 60 years, Germany and Japan are power-hungry countries. No, ladies and gentlemen, the world has rapidly changed during these 60 years, so we cannot judge a book by its cover.
And now for our final speaker from the opposition, Kavisha Panhidu.
Ladies and gentlemen, my opposition is saying that by increasing the number of members in the United Nations Security Council, that it will be more advantageous. But it's not. By increasing the number of United Nations Security Council, the permanent members, the veto power of them will also increases. By this increasing of the veto power, the misusing of that powers is greater. That veto powered country take their veto power as the weapons and shoot the poor developing countries. So is that correct? Now my dear opponents will ask, what are the reasons to tell this? Darfur in 2004 and Rwanda in 1994 are the examples. If we take the Western dominance, that means UK, USA, France, and in the Eastern dominance, China and Russia. This Western dominance, their duty is to protect peace as well as the human rights, and in the Western dominance, their duty is to abuse them. But are they doing this? They are asking for increase the number of members in the United Nations Security Council. How can we increase the United Nations Security Council permanent members if they are not doing their duty correctly? And in 1815, in our Sri Lanka, there was the UK came to our country as a peacekeeping mission and conquered the whole island and took the wealth of our country and went back. So is that peacekeeping, my dear friends? Is that peacekeeping? And my dear friends, talk about India. If they want to take India as a permanent member, why didn't they take that? India has lots of qualities. It is the 10th largest economical country. It is the second largest populated country. So why didn't they take India? Because United Nations Security Council understands if some more members increase.
With the conclusion of the opening statements, the two teams have specialties in their own way, because Rotary International School is a completely fresh school to the debater. They were not with us during season 1, a team of youngsters, and we do have a sort of a record this time as well, because we have one of our youngest debaters ever to be in any of the seasons of the debater, Movin Pereira. He's just 12, representing DSN Anaika. So it's a team of youngsters. Let's see how the debate fares as we move into a very short commercial break. We'll be back with the face-off round.